Hi everyone, I'm Madison Tullock, and today I'll be talking about the cultural practices and traditions in Cuba by using the film Una Noche as an example. This movie shows everyday life, including family relationships, music, and the importance of community. So on my slideshow, I listed the cover page of the movie. And it's based out of Cuba. And the Cuban population has about 11 million people, and its culture is shaped by Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences. These influences are created by unique traditions like music, food, and family life. So, my goal today is to explain how Cuban traditions shape people's daily lives and their identity, even their dreams for their future. Background on Cuba. So, Cuba is an island nation in the Caribbean, just 90 miles from Florida, so not too far. And its capital is Havana. So, in Havana or Cuba, family is extremely important in the Cuban culture. And according to cultural research from the Library of Congress, extended families often live together or live nearby, and family members rely on each other a lot for emotional and financial support. So in Cuba, music is, a huge part of Cuban life. Cuba is the birthplace of many famous music styles like the salsa, son, and rumba. And throughout my research, I learned that Cuban music is a very important part of their cultural heritage. Um, and I want to start off by kind of asking you guys a question. How many of you listen to music every day? I'll answer that for myself. I listen to it every single day. Pretty much all day long. I love music, whether that's through my AirPods or driving or on my Google Home, whatever that is. I'm always listening to music. But in Cuba, music just isn't just entertainment. People use music to celebrate. They use it to express emotions, and it brings communities together. Overview of Una Noche. So, Una Noche follows teenagers living in Havana who face poverty, they face limited opportunities, um, and, tons of social pressure. So, one of the main characters in the movie, his dreams are of escaping to Miami to find freedom and more opportunity. So in the film, it shows very realistic scenes of Cuban life, like crowded homes, busy streets, and even very close neighborhoods. So, even though life is extremely difficult, the movie also shows joy, and it shows friends laughing and people dancing and, people loving each other and families, truly supporting each other side by side. And this reflects, on a real truth that, even during hardship, Cuban traditions help people stay strong. And not only that, they help them stay hopeful. Family and community. In Cuban culture, family comes first, 100% first. And, that's kind of the same as my family. I would say we definitely all put each other first, which it's amazing. But in Cuba, the family members protect and they support each other no matter what. Um, in the movie, we see siblings staying close and helping each other survive difficult situations. Um, and also, neighbors, they act like extended family. Um, I can relate to the family being close, but as far as neighbors, my neighbors, I live in a neighborhood and, we're not really that close. So I think that would be nice, in Cuba, just having an extra set of family that you can go to. So, in Cuba, they share food, they give each other advice, they talk, they hang out, they, their friends, their family, and they provide emotional support. Um, and this strong community connects and helps people survive through the difficult challenges. Music and dance. Music is everywhere in Cuban life. People sing, they dance, they play music, whether that's in their streets, in their homes. Dance is definitely not just for fun, it's a way to express feelings like happiness, sadness, love, and hope. Throughout my research, it showed that music plays a very important role in Cuban identity and emotional expression. So, just a question for you guys to think about. If you couldn't listen to music for a year, how would that affect your life? I think just answering myself, I would be so sad, especially when driving the car going on road trips. This would just be terrible. I couldn't imagine it. So thinking about that, it definitely helps me to understand how important music is in Cuba. Daily life and traditions. So daily life in Cuba includes very simple but meaningful traditions. Families eat meals together, children go outside, they play outside, in the neighborhoods with their friends, their family, and people shop at small local markets. That's one thing that I wish was more common here. Um, Even the small moments like sharing food or talking with neighbors are such important traditions, and they practice these strong relationships that truly build the cultural identity in Cuba. Youth and dreams. Um, One of the most powerful themes in Una Noche is the dreams of young people. So many Cuban teenagers dream of traveling or finding better opportunities. Um, so again, going back to the main character of the movie, his dream of going to Miami represents the hope for freedom and a much better future. And this definitely represents and shows the tension between staying connected to family, but also wanting to reach out and branch out and, simply just wanting better opportunities for himself. Why these traditions matter. So, these traditions are so important for, I'm gonna go off and list three reasons. So first, I would say they preserve cultural identity. So music, dance, and family traditions, they connect people to their history. Second, they strengthen communities. Um, Studies show that social support improves emotional well-being. And third, traditions provide hope. So even during poverty or struggle, culture and culture strength, it really does help people. And this movie shows that traditions help people survive emotionally, and not just physically. Personal reflection and conclusion. So, after watching Una Noche, it's helped me to truly understand how important culture is and, how it affects people's lives. I've learned all about, family and music and community and how they're not just traditions, but they truly are survival tools. And I think that that's definitely something in the United States that we could definitely benefit from. This presentation really helped me to realize, I think one of the most important things is that even though we live, in different countries, we all share the same simple and basic hopes, and that's to feel connected, to feel supported, and super hopeful about the future. And one final question I kind of want you guys to think about is what cultural tradition is most important in your life? And last slide, in conclusion, Una Noche shows that Cuban traditions shape people's daily lives, their relationships, and their dreams. So the very last slide is my sources. I hope you guys enjoyed listening and hopefully you learned something that you didn't know before. Thank you for listening. Bye.